intros. I promise you, Tiny.
I was going to say, Dex pulled out.
Okay, who said
the dumbest tweet he could find?
Okay, no, I'm gonna be honest. I was considering that actually being the intro. I did not start recording up until Hunter started.
Oh, you're terrible.
Up until Hunter started talking about, hey, this is a weird intro. No, I just wanted to get that out there. I thought that I think that's a really funny fucking tweet for people who don't understand
You're like
anything
0
of
for
that.
5 today. You're like 0 for 5.
How am I 0 for 5? What are the other 4?
Count them. You'll figure
See,
it out.
the fact that you even have to ask means you're 0 for 6 now.
That's crazy.
One of these days, I'm gonna get fired.
My Chungus host.
What the?
Is it legally firing if we don't get paid?
I mean, maybe. Dude, where's our contract, Dex? Where's the contract?
You guys never signed contracts. You just show up.
Not even
Wait,
contracted.
means I can leave?
I mean, yeah.
Right,
no one's holding you hostage.
I'm just waiting. Like, I'm watching my Discord screen because I have all the sounds muted on Discord right now, so I don't hear when people leave or join.
No.
I was too lazy to commit to that bit.
You've committed to the bit in the past. I know that.
Yeah, well, in the past, me did not deal with the things that this weekend me has dealt with. So I'm a different human being now.
For better or worse?
Much worse. But you know what? We don't need to get into all that. What we need to get into is episode 30-something of The Love Abroad.
31?
We're at the start of 30, so no, 31.
Oh, it's 31.
31.
Listen, Dex is the bookkeeper here. Do the host intro thing.
I'm the bookkeeper, but half the episodes, I forget what episode it is, even though I write it down right in front of me.
And this is why you're the bookkeeper.
I'm the bookkeeper, keeper of the books half the time, and the other half, like, yeah, they're there, but fuck if I know. Anyway, as Hunter and Mega eventually got to, welcome back everyone to episode 31 of For the Love of Prod. As always, joined by Huntertain and Megalass. But this week's guest, we are joined, or pleased to be joined by TinyShiny. Hi, Tiny.
Hi. It's gonna be fun. I'm very excited about this. Actually, I've seen great things. I've seen great things from my, especially from Twin Salty. He was telling me all about it lately. So.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Like, I don't think. I'm always very worried about what the previous guest will say. Like, hey, if they ask you, don't do it. Don't do it. Just stay away. Like, that's my biggest fear, is that everyone will say, yeah, I had fun. Don't do it.
See, you're worried about the last guest. I'm just worried about, like, if people just go to only the CB episode, and that's just their impression of the podcast. Gosh, I love CB.
That sounds like a recipe for chaos.
Here, wait,
in a good way.
Let me scroll back to CB's notes I took and write and say some of the stuff that I have written down here. I have waifus. I have Monster Prom. I have VTuber therapist written down.
Wait. Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember that idea. Yeah.
Other than that, I think we spoke about accents at the start of that episode.
We definitely talked.
I was more talking about the Rhea Ripley parts, but yeah.
That only came up once. I think we just talked about muscular women in general.
Anyway, yeah, that sounds about right.
It adds up, yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, poor Dex.
Poor me. Why poor me? Poor everyone who has to listen to us rehash the CB episode every week.
Listen, it's because I love CB so much. She's like,
exactly.
Like, if I could hold her hand, I would. Okay, like, I'll say it. I'll come out and say it. I'm not afraid to make that declaration.
There are times where CB is a really great person, and then there's times where whatever the hell she tweeted today, I had to sit there and question myself for a moment.
Well,
I don't even I've forgotten what it's about. Actually, no, I think it's about a new Deadlock character or something. But no,
I think so.
No, it's definitely about something else. I don't know. I don't know. I try to blank some stuff.
That's crazy. But anyway, listen, we could talk about CB some other time. We have this whole other person here. TinyShiny, the caster, the amazing person, the Dex, do the hosting thing.
Mega. Actually, no, Mega, you got Tiny to come on. I think it's time for you to take over the job of host.
All right, so I totally know what the two questions are. I've been here 30 episodes. I should know, right? So, but on an actual serious note, right? There's two main things that always get asked. Is first is sort of your background. What got you into esports? Was it just some sort of random event? Did you always have an interest, stuff like that? So, Tiny, take it away. What got you into esports production?
Esports production specifically. I mean, that is kind of pretty random, I guess. I've always loved playing video games, kind of since I was younger. But unlike I think a lot of people in the industry, my family was very against video games. It wasn't an encouraged activity for us. We were very limited on the amount of video games that we could actually play. So whenever I went over to a friend's house, that was like my thing that I wanted to do. Of course, none of my friends at the time wanted to do that, so that wasn't as fun. But it's always been something that I've been interested in, and it wasn't really until COVID that where I had saved up enough money to buy a PlayStation because my younger brother no longer let me use his Xbox. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. This is something I really like. So it was like my freshman year in high school. So I was playing Overwatch. It was the very first game that I got and kind of played ever since. And eventually I joined just a random plat team for like, I don't think it's even good. It was like a gem league or something back in the day, and they kept putting out posts like, oh, we want people to help cast or do production and broadcast. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. I have nothing else to do. I'm just sitting here trying to do high school during COVID, I might as well give this a shot. And that's literally how I did it, sitting on my couch with my $20 headset, trying to observe with my controller that was too big for my hands at the time, and just kind of roam around. And it was great, but again, it was an extremely random event that I got involved in it, and especially because it wasn't encouraged in my family as much. It was there was a little bit of pushback at the start, but I think they saw how happy I was doing it. I was able to continue.
A couple things. So,
Yeah.
one, a controller that was too big for your hands.
Okay. The problem is with the PlayStation 5 controller is I had that issue of I have stupidly small hands. I needed to get like an extender thing, but I never did. It's about the size of a 10-year-old, and it wasn't great. I couldn't reach my Y button without completely moving my hand to the side to like twist it over the top. So that with my thumb. So I either had to do that or I had to do a claw grip, which hurt. So it was a bit of a learning curve on that, but yeah, I was not good at console Overwatch.
I was gonna say, like, you could try doing the claw. I know there's people out there who do that, but
yeah.
it's like, yeah, no, people do that.
I don't either. I tried doing that once, and I'm like, I don't think I'm doing this right. I don't feel like it should hurt, so I just like, I'm not doing that. But yeah, no, that was yeah, not fun.
Hey, no pain, no gain, right?
Exactly.
But I mean, like, you brought up there a little bit, like, how you got started with like the equipment you had, and I always kind of like we've definitely talked about it in the past, at least in the first couple episodes I know, where we were talking about how we all got our start, all the stuff we use. Like, I started off with like, I think a discounted $15 like I got at Walmart white Yeti Snowball microphone casting, and it, like, I never had any complaints with it. Like, or no one ever told me anything bad about it. It's just always one of those things, like, if you want to do it, just do it. Like, and that doesn't matter what you necessarily have. Like, Ewan actually reached out to me before the last season of Face It, because he wanted to do a whole bunch of co-streaming with it. And like, I laid out to him, like, hey, Yeti Snowball, people will shun it, but the thing is great. It is the best, like, cost-friendly microphone out there. And then like, here's this one, depending on your price range. But it's like, if you really want to try it, doesn't matter what you have. Like, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's really just the most basic of things too, and like, especially then, I wasn't using a camera. That was where my parents drew the line at the time, since I was 15. And I'm like, you know what, that's fair. So I'm okay with just kind of using the headset. I did originally use the controller microphone accidentally on a broadcast. That was bad. But I figured it out after the fact because I listened back to it and I'm like, okay, it sounds like I'm underwater and in a microwave at the same time. Let's not do that again. So yeah, thankfully, never again. But yeah, I will say I do enjoy the fact that I have more comfortable equipment now for that.
And like you shared like a photo of your setup at college dorm, and it's like, I don't know. I remember you shared like a photo of like you actually had like the nice like umbrella lighting or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm sitting here with 2 ring lights I bought at a TJ Maxx.
Well, okay. The nice thing about that is it was they're super cheap. I think they were like total it was $60. So I'm like, this is a decent investment. It's easy to store, and especially because I was going back and forth so much between home and school just for breaks that it kind of made sense to have something like that. And because I only use a green screen, I don't really have any other form of a background. It's just a wall. I'm kind of boring. I don't have a lot of expressive things in my room other than Overwatch. So, and it's just kind of been the go-to for me.
As you can tell, I'm the only person.
As you can tell, this is not my
Yeah.
room. I had some people when I was streaming our Calling All Heroes match the other day. I had like a purple and blue kind of like rotating background. People were like, "Whoa, are you in space?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in space." Like I don't like it's fun. I don't know. It's just a good way to mix it up, and I don't have to do anything. So that part's great too. Highly recommend green screens.
Please, one day, Dex. One day you'll do it.
No,
Okay.
no, like this is the thing, at least with my dad who watches this, he gets so pissed off at my background compared to everyone else's. He's like, yeah, your background's just taking me out of the podcast so much. And I'm just saying, like, who fucking cares?
Well, okay, so my mom says the same thing because she'll watch like the interviews that we do with players, and a lot of times they're playing in their bedrooms, so they have like unmade beds in the background and whatnot. And she's like, "How do they go online with unmade beds in front of all of these people and do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just talked to them. Like it doesn't really. It's just a thing. Maybe it's just a generational thing that we don't mind as much. It's just we're just kind of here."
Like, I just keep telling him I don't care. He keeps saying, "Hey, just put a curtain up." It's like, I don't want to. I don't want to put more holes in my ceiling. I don't want to put
Yeah.
like I do have like an actual like photography thing. I used to have a green back when I was in college, but I don't want to put that up because I know my cat will just try to climb
Just
up
try to
it.
climb it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Zay
cat wall.
would take it out. To be fair, mine is my entire green screen is held together by a grand total of 2 thumbtacks. This thing is
Yep.
one slight pull away from collapsing completely.
Hey, that's how it's gotta be, you know?
And
Yeah, we
Mega
all struggle with our green screens yet.
and Mega's in the virtual world, so she doesn't need a green
Yeah,
screen.
exactly.
It's great. I love it how it is so much. Like it scares new producers so much who've never worked with me. They're like, "Oh gosh, is this going to be complicated?" And then once they realize that everything is on me and I just send to them like a normal webcam, they love me to pieces. They're like, "This is great." I can literally like the amount of times either Solomon or even Hippie did it once. We're just was like, "Here, you know what? This could be a fun background for this tournament," and just sent me like a PDF of the tournament or something. And I could just throw it up in the background, easy peasy. Gosh, being virtual is great.
One day we'll all be there.
I have probably sooner than we think, honestly.
Yeah, one day we'll leave the human flesh behind and just go to be.
Yeah. Oh god.
But let's move on to the second part of the question. So, talk about what got you in. What kind of keeps you coming back? And you kind of mentioned like a little bit of the stuff you've done, but what is like the main thing that kind of keeps you coming back to do casting or just esports?
Yeah, this is for esports for me has always been it's a community first and foremost. I think the idea of competitive gaming is great, but unless you're at the very very top, winning just doesn't matter as much. What builds esports has always been that community, and a big part of that community, that kind of like that one unified front, is when we do see those matches, that when we do see those broadcasts. So that's something that's always been really motivating for me, because esports, it gave me a sort of direction in life when I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, how to push through certain things. And it became a big motivator, not only for me, but also seeing the joy and excitement that other people got from just participating in these kind of events in general. So I think having the pleasure just to be a part of something like that was both personally fulfilling, but also felt like that I could continue to give back to the community that helped me out as well.
Absolutely. Like that's definitely one thing that for a lot of the people we've had on, like that is a big part of like that keeps on coming back because it is really important. It is really like a lot of the communities that we're all in, whether it be the grassroots leagues or some of the bigger leagues, like they are generally really, really good people and really, really nice people as well. Which gamers, I feel like gamers in general always get maybe a little bit of a bad rap.
Yeah.
And granted, probably in some cases absolutely deserved. But like I'll look at DGL and BPL and the communities there outside of some of the drama, are just some of the like funnest communities to be a part of. Like I just lurk in the general sometimes just to see what the hell people are talking about because it's some of the wildest stuff.
Yeah, no, it's actually insane. And like the grassroots too, like that's where a lot of people at least in the current generation of esports athletes, that's kind of where we're seeing most people come from is that grassroots. But I think another reason that I've wanted to stay around is because of the increase in like scholastic participation and using that in high school and collegiate settings, even in middle school now too. So I've been very involved in kind of what esports can look like in education, not only through my own college journey, but also just through a lot of extra curriculars, through mentors, and a lot of like it takes a lot of time to put into that. So those pieces as well, seeing that there is kind of a future for esports and that side too has been very, it's like I want to keep coming back to see this grow and kind of be a part of that.
Yeah, and I mean, like we'll probably touch on the collegiate stuff and maybe the high school stuff a little bit later, but like especially all the news that's happened this like between college semesters. Granted, good and bad news there, but again, everything kind of evens out. I feel like like there's especially with NACE changing how they've done stuff. I feel like at least from the administration level, there's a lot of more hope for college being like a thing that kind of continues to develop. But the high school level has been something that has been really fun to watch just in the past year and a half because it seems like there's a lot of not only like areas that are really like getting it to grow, but also like states are starting to commit into actually saying like, hey, we're gonna put on a statewide like tournament, which is really, really fun.
Yeah, those have been awesome, and like I had a really weird high school kind of thing where I did online school, like basically homeschool for the last 3 years of high school, and those were like I was watching like the high school that I did go to for that 1 year, like they were trying to start up an esports thing because the state had just announced a league at that time. We're like, oh, we want to get involved in this and do all of that, and kind of seeing all of that come into play has been really cool. And like just seeing just the high school tournaments online, like there was that one, I don't know if you saw that one like Rocket League tournament that had all these kids packed in the gymnasium that went viral. I think it was like somewhere like within the last year or so, but it's things like that that are like, all right, this can actually start to become a thing. So I don't know, those are really cool to see.
Yeah, and like I know North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Washington, I think you were involved with Washington.
Yeah,
I know Georgia,
all of them there.
Yeah, Georgia has it. I think Georgia has something set in stone, but I don't think they broadcast a lot of it. I don't know anything about the state I live in, South Carolina. But like, it's fun to see like I said, it's fun to just see actual like every state say, hey, we're gonna give this a shot. There's nothing wrong with giving it a shot, especially because, like you said, there is like general interest from so many high schoolers esports. It's incredible.
Yeah. And, like even it's the benefits outside of that, like the increased attendance, the involvement, the social aspects, like those things are so good, especially in kind of the younger generations. I mean, Gen Alpha, they get a bad rep for that, but I mean, esports has been one of the few things that has proved to be really engaging for those students that they struggle to reach. Like there was some crazy statistic that I saw. There was like 86% of students that are in high school esports. I think it was in Minnesota's league. They don't participate in any of the other extracurricular activities. So like the ability it has to tap into a completely different population has been. I mean, that's kind of the best thing that it's been about it.
To be honest, I have not been keeping up with what we're calling generations. I did not know that the one in high school is now currently Gen Alpha.
Yep. Welcome to that. I think it's 2013 and after, I think. Something like that. I think Gen Z ends at 2012.
I forget, am I a millennial?
No.
I think 1997 starts Gen G. Gen Z.
Yeah.
Not
Gen G. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
We're Gen
Alright,
G. We're Gen G. Let's go.
No, dude, I got that stuck in my head. Too much esports.
Not the worst.
Yeah.
It's great being old.
I was gonna say, like, one of the biggest things is Tiny, like, you kept saying, oh yeah, you know, going to high school during COVID. I'm just sitting here like, yeah, all three of us are old as shit.
I went to college in COVID.
Oh.
College was over by COVID.
Oh no.
Man, going to college.
Sorry.
Going to college during COVID was probably a bad idea.
Just a little bit. You know.
No, it was like I can straight up say it was significantly a bad idea for me to continue going to school during COVID.
No, it was awful. It was awful. Like I did one semester of in-person high school, and then COVID happened. I'm like, all right, screw that. I'm doing homeschool. I'm not doing Zoom. So no, that was a time. That was a time.
No.
We're getting further and further away from COVID. I just wanted to.
Thank goodness for
5
that.
years.
Hey, I was gonna say,
really?
listen.
Nearly, yeah.
Yeah. 2020, 2025.
Yes, so.
Remember
Math
the
is
old
math.
days of YouTube during COVID, where if you were any sort of creator and you mentioned COVID, you'd immediately get demonetized. Like if you said the word COVID.
That was a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing for content creators for like
I had
2
no
years.
idea.
Yeah, like I randomly watched a video from someone like during the late part of 2020, and they're like, "Yeah, the thing that I cannot say, or I will lose all my money. I can't say it, but you know the thing that's keeping us all inside."
My favorite was the Game Grumps specifically. Anytime they wanted to say COVID, they would just simply call it the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. And it was and like every single time, and it was so funny. I loved it to pieces.
That's hilarious.
That's so complicated.
Listen,
It's
but
not even quick to say.
Yes, but it's funny.
For the content. Always.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's all about the content.
Only for the content.
It's like a YouTuber that I watch who, when everything was going on with cursing during videos, every time they would curse, they would just replace it with the word YouTube. Like it would be edited in after the fact, so it would be like just a monotone YouTube, very quickly in there.
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, but let's get back on track.
Yeah. Good idea.
We're like derailing the conversation. Come on.
Derailing is probably the most common thing of this podcast.
This podcast should be renamed to Derailing if we're being silly.
True.
Let's not call it derailing, please.
Aye, Captain. You worked so hard on the name for the love of broad.
Yeah, it was all your idea. I remember. Yep.
No, it was Mega.
That's right.
Okay.
Wait, it was me?
Oh my god.
Anyway, this is what we put him through every single week. Mega has always been bad about it. I have been getting.
Okay. Gonna make him want to quit. I noticed I didn't say job because we didn't establish if this was a job.
Hey, I would love if it was a job.
Listen, just like esports, we do this for the love of the game. We do not do this for money.
She's and her camera's dying. But no, right there,
right.
Right there. That is in our first like test episode that we had, or the first test episode we had a guest on. She kept on saying, "For the love of the game." It was like, oh wait, I could just, or for the love of the game, or for the love of God. I was like, oh wait, I could use that.
Okay.
Okay.
It was definitely me saying "for the love of God" because it was the Spectreon episode. I remember it now, and that meant I want to fist fight. I would go to the UK just to fist fight that man.
Hey, you have it. You have your chance. He's taking a break until September.
Sure.
Really?
Anyway,
Oh,
That's news to me
anyway,
too.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's he on like I think it's like starting up uni stuff again. He wants to make sure he's like set up.
that
Mm,
makes sense. I guess September's close. I don't know why. It just I don't know what day
It
it is
is.
anymore.
I don't know where I
day-
am. Yesterday it was June.
I thought it was July, and then oh wait, it's August now. Oh wait, it's almost September. Hold on. Oh,
The day,
insane.
Tiny, welcome to getting older. Once there's
I know.
you hit a certain point where all the days
Yeah.
just kind of form into one amalgamation of something, and then you have like an off day from work, and that's like the day you that's like when you start to remember what actual day it is.
All right, at the ripe age of 20. That's where we're at. I like it.
Hey, at least it's not Blizzard, who was what, 19, 18.
I thought Blizzard.
He's
No,
older than me.
I was like,
Okay.
Blizzard's older than Tiny.
Yeah,
I think the
you
youngest
are
we've
you
had
thinking
on
of
is
something
Person.
else?
Person.
Person's
Person
not
was
youngest.
No,
I think
person's
19.
21. We've had this conversation. He's
Who's
at
the
least told
youngest?
me he's drank, which again, I'm assuming he's 21 just because he told me that.
For le-
But the
For
fucker lives
legal
in
reasons.
Kansas, so I don't know.
For legal
I
reasons.
was like, who in
Gonna out
Kansas
him
is
like that.
gonna
That's
stop this?
crazy.
Okay,
Uh,
after a couple minutes of derailing after trying to get back on the tracks, only to
Yeah.
jump right back off. So,
Let's
Tiny,
get back on this horse.
a lot of people will probably recognize you from, like you said, kind of college, but I think a lot of people mostly recognize you from Calling All Heroes, which has been something we've definitely talked about a lot, and something that, in one way or another, everyone here has at least done something. And me and Hunter, definitely not playing in it, but we have casted Rising Chord, that Echo does. You and Mega are now on the same team, but you are also probably one of the faces of Calling Our Heroes, at least. Just one of the faces of Calling Our Heroes. Kind of talk about, like, what is it like to kind of, like, I imagine you get recognized a lot for doing that. What is it kind of like to, a lot of people might associate you because of that?
I think it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Huh? Honestly though, it's just one of those things that it kind of similar to just the whole reason of why I like being in esports as a whole. If there's any way that I can give that same sort of kind of comfort feeling of joy and just that in the gaming environment, then I want to do that. And if helping kind of highlight this women and marginalized gender esports scene is the way to do it, then cool. Let's keep doing it. I absolutely love the tournament. I've done I think every event except one because I was doing an internship abroad in the past 2 years. So it's been a long time. I've loved working with the people that are there. It just kind of feels like a second home to me at this point. So, and the tournament of all has gone through a lot of different changes, and I've started playing in it again lately, which has been very fun. Especially with our team. Shout out Lotus Rising. And I think we have games this week. I'm getting off topic again. But
You're fine.
regardless, multiple ways to participate, and I have loved every single one of them.
And I mean, like, it's talked about. I'm saying we've talked about it. But Calling Out Heroes is one of those. It's always one of the funnest times. I feel like just for the Overwatch community in general, because like you see probably the best of the community actually come out to really support it, and it's always so good to just see that, at least from the Twitch side of it as a viewer, seeing everyone there like actually like really hyping up all the players. And I mean they're treating it as if it's like it's like OWCS or back in the
You got this.
You got this.
fine.
I believe in you.
Back in the day with Owl, where everyone would really start to look at these players as like really, really good players. And granted, there are now players who do play in COD who are playing in. I definitely want to say there are COD players in OWCS, but I know there are a lot in the Face It Masters and the Face It ladder as well.
Oh,
but it's cool to see them go from COD to the next biggest stage, which is WCS. It's really awesome to kind of see that.
Yeah, I think we've seen it be that kind of stepping stone. It gives us these players the platform where they otherwise might not have. You hear all the time about teams not wanting to trial women and marginalized genders because they don't want to mess with that team dynamic. People find that it makes them uncomfortable to be on somebody who's on a team with somebody who's not just like them, and it's things like that they're just invisible social barriers. Like, oh, why don't we see more women and marginalized genders in esports? Like, it's things like that you can't see. So if Calling All Heroes and a lot of other tournaments like this, I mean, they do a great job of taking down a lot of those walls, and then opening up those pathways for the players to move higher up through kind of the spotlight of the tournament broadcasts. And I'm so happy that Overwatch Esports has continued to invest in that tournament because I think about before. When Overwatch League Contenders was still a thing, we barely saw any women or marginalized gender player make it like up even into Contenders. Now it's all over the place in Face It and OWCS, and I genuinely don't think we would have gotten there at least this quickly without Calling All Heroes.
Yeah, I have to agree with very, very much. But like, you guys are playing the Rising tier.
Yes, we are not that good.
No. Hey, Rising tier still has a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. Is CB still playing on her team, Atlas Kazoku?
Yes.
You guys play them at some point?
Actually,
I don't know if she's on the roster. Is she on the roster still?
I think she's on the roster, but I think she's like on a sub spot right now. I'd have to go look. I do not know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I think she was always in a sub spot last season.
Yeah, that sounds about
Sounds
right.
about Sounds about right. Listen, I'm not trying to call anybody out. All I'm saying is,
No, do it.
I showed up as the caster, won a few tournaments, and all of a sudden CB and Tiny came up. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. If there was a first for the
Crazy.
casters to jump in,
You're a trailblazer, Megalass. You're a trailblazer.
I'm just saying.
I don't know, but to quickly shout out Echo. What she does at Rising Court is really fun. Like I said, me and Hunter have done it a little bit. There's also other casters like Rain, Mott, Gary, who all show up there from time to time, and who I think are showing up there now with this season or with this stage of Rising. And it's always fun to see that because like Rain is a really good caster, Mott is really good as well. Funny thing is, like, I didn't like with Mott doing Face It stuff. I did not know how many followers Mott Neva had. They like, it surprised me to see that they have over 1,000 followers on like that, like insane.
Oh yeah, well it's good. It's from him doing fighting game stuff.
He does a lot of fighting game stuff.
I said like I kind of knew that, but it's like still having someone with that much pull to potentially or have that much maybe influence to get people to come watch Rising is really, really cool.
Yeah, we do like to do that.
As I say, we love Neva in this household. He's good.
True.
Hopefully we can get them on. But so let's move on to the next topic with collegiate, because like you said, probably where outside of Calling Out Heroes, probably where a lot of people will recognize you from. And I mean, you got your start at you got probably most recognizable start at collegiate with Shenandoah. And that the program at Shenandoah, like, it's been one thing that I've kind of talked about a little bit, at least on Twitter. In actually investing into a production team is something that you've only seen maybe a handful of like do, and I think it's a very important step for at least the collegiate level to do that. Like, what was that kind of like going into Shenandoah? And like, I don't know if you were there at the start of the prod team with the esports program, or if it was already kind of in place. But what was that kind of like walking into the collegiate esports team to really do production? I know you play now. I know you are on a team.
For a little bit, yeah.
But what?
So when I started, I'd actually been talking to the production staff before I even, like, I think the week after I committed, they reached out to me and like, hey, we just got picked to run a Calling All Heroes minor event at the time. And like, do you want to cast this? It's the second week of school. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do that. So I got thrown into it really fast. I didn't really know what to expect. The production side of it, compared to any other collegiate setup, at least at the time, it was like top 3 for sure. And especially with how small of a school Shenandoah is, the amount of like the
Yeah.
physical equipment that they have. It's a small private school. It's not an insult,
Mhm.
but they had multiple dedicated observers. They had a director. They had a specific replay PC. They had a dedicated staff for production, which, I mean, 2 years ago was just not a thing as often. We're slowly starting to see that a little bit more. The program, it went through a lot of changes through the time that I was there, but definitely at the start, I think what I loved was that it was automatically a learning environment. Regardless of how much experience you came in with, there was always something for you to do. Somebody was always asking you, like, do you want to know how to do this? Do you know how to do this? Can you help somebody else learn how to do this? So I really loved that part of the culture that went on behind it, and the fact that it was very all business for that first week of Calling All Heroes that they ran, like, which again, insane introduction to my first collegiate broadcast. At that time too, I hadn't done a ton of in-person events either. So kind of sitting next to somebody and casting was still kind of weird to me. But yeah, Shenandoah as a whole, and just from that point, thinking how much that they've grown now too, is like, I'm very happy that I had the chance to be involved with it when I did.
Yeah, and like I every now and then I still go back. I still like watch a lot of like collegiate podcasts just because I really want to see like especially the bigger programs out there, like the Northwoods, the Maryvilles, the Winthrops, Boise States. There's probably others that I'm gonna get yelled at by someone for saying why did you not say this school. UT Dallas, I think is where it's surprising, and we definitely talked about this when we had Bailey on a couple weeks ago, where some of the some of the best programs or esports programs in college in the collegiate scene don't really have a broadcast side at all.
Yeah.
If they're streaming anything, it might just be from the perspective of one player, and you might have no sound because they have to mute it so there's no comms going. So to see schools actually invest into production is really really awesome. And like you're talking about all this stuff, it's like, oh yeah, we have this person doing this. You have replays, you have observers, you have everything. I'm just sitting there like thinking, damn, my school did not have that. Like granted, my school was, again, the program's still very small at my alma mater, but it's like, yeah, we had one person sitting on a random computer just being the observer, and then literally right next to them is the computer that's streaming the game. That's it. And the casters are in another room just watching a giant like LED screen casting it, because that's the only way we could see it. But it's insane to see some of the like, actual broadcast centers that a lot of schools have now just for esports. I think it's incredible to see.
Yeah, it depends on the school too, right? And it depends on what they want to invest in and what they have the funds to invest in. For Shenandoah, they're a D3 school, so they can't offer scholarships for esports. They have work study, so you could earn up to $2,000 a year doing. For us, it could be broadcast, it could be a player, whatever that may be. But we're not going to have the full-wide scholarships to pull like these big name players. We're not going to be a competitive school. So a lot of schools choose to invest more in the education side or the production side. So and like see, thank you for pulling that up. Shenandoah was one that really liked to focus on more like, how can we take these students who love esports and help them turn it into a more permanent career? Because competition, yes, that's awesome, but behind every one competitive player, there's like 10 other people that are making things happen from around the event, and it's just not something that you do by yourself. So Shenandoah kind of jumped on that type of opportunity to make it happen, whereas other schools like, it used Maryville for an example. Great competitive program, but they're not leaning nearly as much into like the education side of it, since they're focusing on building and have done an excellent job at building some of the best future for competition, this kind of collegiate pipeline that we're starting to see more of.
Yeah, absolutely. But like just looking at this one photo here, just having a, like, coming from where I come from, just having a desk is just so nice.
That's like from 4 years ago too. Like that's in like right when they started.
Just having a desk would have been so great at my school.
Yep.
Um, but then you see Boise State's like entire facility, and it's just like wow. Like
yeah.
That's the I think the benchmark for everyone's like, hey, we eventually will get there.
Yeah. Boise, Full Sail's another one. They've ran a lot of the NACE tournament. They've ran all the NACE tournaments in the last couple of years. And Syracuse, that's another one. Just built like a massive facility. I think they're gonna have 3 separate esports facilities on their campus by the end of this upcoming year. So, and they're going in.
That was one that I was gonna talk about, the fact that we're now seeing schools actually invest into like
yep.
Like,
wow,
this is insane for a college to have, because this is essentially almost a professional. Sorry, Zay, messing with my mouth.
Good job, Zay. Good job.
But it's very much a professional. It's very much a professional, like a professional setup that on a college campus, which is nuts to see.
Mm-hmm. Cat difficulties.
Like first, she's go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dex. Tell us the cat struggles.
Please.
First, she's like trying just to like lay down on my desk, which is perfectly fine. But then it's like, okay, she wants to eat my mouse cord. Then it's like I try to pick her up, and she grabs my mouse pad instead and won't let it go. And then it's like, okay, she's pulling the mouse pad with her, so I have to fix it. Now I'm just trying to put it.
Just fix it with the cat.
Like if I leave this hanging out in front of her, she will try to, like the pencil. She will try to like actually grab it and eat it.
Yeah, no, it looks yummy
sounds
for
like
a cat.
But I mean, I lost my.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say, like in comparison, right? Like schools are investing more and more in it, and it's really great because I'm here to tell you my school, as much as I love my school. The only time an esports stream of any kind got ran last year was when I gave up my own PC to have it done. And the unfortunate thing was I was playing at the time, so I could not physically run it. I just kind of had to let someone use my PC to do it. And just watching it back, I was like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. I don't trust this person to do anything. But so it like, while it's nice that some campuses have stuff like that, like I think more and more, like Tiny said, with like some schools, even if they can't offer the scholarships, having stuff like work study, take advantage of it. If you're at like a school or something like that, and maybe you're sitting there like, how on earth could we get some more esports? Oh my goodness, start coughing. Going on up in here, maybe try to see if you could just like talk around ego a little bit and see if you can maybe convince people that you know what you're doing.
Yep.
Absolutely. But fuck, I had a question.
The cat took it.
No, the cat took it. The old age is starting to get to me.
The old age.
Alzheimer's runs in my family. I hope it's not early developing.
Jeez.
Oh, here, yeah. So you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier that when you first started casting, you weren't necessarily use the camera. Granted, that was probably more at the time just a safety thing and a privacy thing. But once you got to college, and especially with that first Calling All Heroes Rising, being in an actual set, it forced you to use the camera, like, or you were forced to kind of be on camera. Like, was there any kind of like worry that you had going from not using camera to using camera? Because when I first started casting outside of my school, there was this whole big thing of like I really did like like having this divide between online and real life, where I didn't want people to know what I necessarily looked like online in case they ever ran into me in real life, because it's like it's two different people basically.
Exactly. Yeah, and I won't lie, I have had concerns about that, especially with jobs and other things. Finding it, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty wholesome, you know. There's not too much I'm too afraid of. But it actually a little bit different than that. I started using a camera when I turned 16, so I had already been. It was in my mom's office on her like 12-year-old Mac desktop that she used for work. We used the camera on that before I bought a webcam, and she let me do that on like her standing treadmill thing. So that's what I did for a while. So I actually did on camera stuff for a year. I did before I went to Shenandoah for that Calling All Heroes event. I did the Calling All Heroes event for Minor 1, and I had 3 lands between January and March of that same year. So I was I was like getting more acclimated to what was going on and more used to kind of the collegiate space as well. My first collegiate cast was when I was 16, ironically. Don't know how they let that happen, gonna be totally honest, but they never asked, so I didn't tell. It was kind of a lot of skirting around that when I was still underage. But yeah, there was kind of when I turned 18 is when I really was allowed to do more things. I could sign my own contracts. People were like, "Oh, we can actually hire you now." To do stuff. So the camera piece wasn't necessarily the scary part. It was, this is my first impression with all of my potential future friends and peers. I can't screw this up kind of pressure. Unfortunately, I already had a first impression done thanks to the staff there who kind of got people excited that I was coming because they don't get experienced people in college. So they hyped me up, and then I'm like, well, I'm not that exciting. I'm just here. Like, I just want to cast, man. So I had people that were afraid to talk to me at the start because I'm like, what? Oh, it actually, I felt so bad. People have been slowly telling me that over the years. Like, you know, when you first started, I just didn't want to talk to you because I'm like, I told you about this and you did this. And I'm like, no, no, stop. So that was, again, it was more pressure of first impressions in people, but I guess I didn't have to worry about that. That was already there for me.
They hyped you up so much that everyone was afraid of you.
Yes.
Oh, God.
It was a problem. I think two people talked to me on my first day. Like, actually had conversations with me, and those two were my best friends too. So it's like we got there eventually, but it took a little bit. So that was nice. I also just came in with a game face on because I was locked in. So that was also probably me looking like, don't mess with me. But also, it was those two together. I'm hoping. I'm not that intimidating, I swear.
Mega, is she intimidating in your scrims?
No, I'm not.
No, okay. Again, like it blows my mind because not just from talking with other people in prods, from talking in like scrims, matches, stuff like that. There's so many people who are like, "OMG, it's tiny, 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 tiny," and I'm just like,
It's not. It's just
y'all
not.
are building up this powerful like entity for someone who like listen. You know, I love Tiny to pieces. I love you, but
I think I know where we're
you
going.
have about as much intimidation as like a gerbil. Like you're wholesome almost to like an insane degree, and you know it works for you. It's great. But like anytime I hear people like, "Oh yeah, I'm too scared to talk to her. I'm too scared to reach out to her for this prod or something like that," I'm like, "Why? It's tiny.
If
Just
anything,
talk to
I'm
her."
probably more scared to talk to you, so don't worry about
Exactly.
it. Oh.
Oh my
You
goodness.
Lord.
God, why is it the only thing that like I think I'm getting gerbils mixed up with hamsters, but it's like, oh yeah, you know, a gerbil, like I think it's those
My
things
God.
online where
Yeah.
my gerbil farted and it basically had a heart attack and died.
What? Should I be concerned about how chronically online you are? Is that-
No.
No? No.
It might be too late for him. Might be too late for all of us three.
We're all just
Gotta
gone
be
now.
real.
Oh, is this
I think
the
it's
episode
just
where I
too
figure
far.
out I have to kill myself?
That's
That's the most unhinged line you have said on this podcast.
I was
honestly.
gonna say.
That is a Megalass line right there. That's how far down the
Exactly.
rabbit hole you've gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely had words. I feel like I.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of one.
Look, the point being, we're saying that specifically about Tiny because Tiny's here, right? But there are so many people, especially like that I know within Overwatch esports, that are just so intimidated or starstruck by like half the people in the
Mm.
scene.
Mhm.
When I promise
Yeah.
you that half of people, if you just message them, if as long as you're not like some random being like, "Hi, can I live at your house?" or something like that, chances are they'll reply to you with whatever they need, with whatever you need, like a normal human being, because they're all normal human beings.
Here,
Believe
wait,
it or not.
wait. I have a counterpoint to that. Mega, you
Yeah.
ever get an email back from Reinforce?
No, I did not.
What?
You
You
emailed
didn't?
for us?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you see, we have a bit going where I said by either the end of the year, episode 50, we'd get reinforce on. And then I wasted my time writing a Twitter DM just to then read his thing in his bio saying he doesn't read Twitter DMs. So I just copy pasted the tweet from his DMs into his email, and then I just kind of left it at that.
Hey, you
Again.
never know if you don't shoot your shot. Honestly.
Again,
That's what
I'm
you do.
chilling because like I don't know. This has been something with me always. We've talked about it before, where like I just don't really get starstruck at anything. I think it's just from a background in acting combined with just always being. It's so weird because I have social anxiety when it comes to like one-on-ones and like actually trying to meet and talk to a new person. But if it's like a crowd setting or something like that, I'm completely chilling. And it always throws people off so much because it feels like I'm like switching back and forth between two different people. I'm like, it's like, who are you? But
Yeah.
I'll say this about just, like meeting at least the other casters from like the community leagues and everything, and like meeting Tiny, meeting you at DreamHack last year, meeting CB at DreamHack Dallas. It's like everyone's so chill, everyone's so cool. I did say I have talked about this before. I did like profusely apologize to CB the first time I met her because the only interaction I ever had with CB before that was a CGL Apex like pug, and I have this thing where I like to shit on myself a lot, and I maybe took it a little bit too far during that
No.
to the point where I think CB even like CB said like I'm actually starting to worry that you're not okay. So the first 5 minutes of me meeting CB was like, I'm so sorry for that. Please. I don't want like that wasn't I did not want to do all that. I just like I'm trying to do better.
Oh. CB's just so wholesome though. Like I think I've seen CB on 2 different things, and both times she's ran up to me and picked me up in like a big bear hug. That's what we've done. That's our greeting now. That's how we greet each other. She's just so sweet. But I don't like getting picked up.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that I was gonna say this like TinyShiny is not like it's not like oh yeah she calls herself Tiny but she's like 7'2". No.
I'm not that because I didn't name myself like that. That was not the intention. I happen to be on the slightly shorter side, but I'm really not that short.
You're not. No, you're not. But
Thank you, Dex.
but I will say probably easily can be picked up.
Okay. Well, all right. You know what? I'll take what I can get. Honestly, this is better.
But I mean, like, let's actually talk about now, like some of the people you work like. Who are some of the most fun people like that you would say like whenever you're working with them, you know it's gonna be one a good cast, but two you're just gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Ooh. It's like trying to pick my favorite pet cat. I can't do that. Oh gosh. I mean, I love working with everybody for a different reason. I think CB and Twin Salty are the 2 that I've worked with the most. Or at least recently, like in the past 2 years ish. So, I mean, those 2 in particular. With CB, I can always expect the unexpected, as in I'm holding on to the roller coaster for dear life without a seatbelt. I don't know where it's going to take me, but it's going to stay on track because I make it stay on track. That's what it feels like with CB, and it is such a fun adventure every time, and it sounds like you guys get that treatment as well, do when you're on here. And like it's so fun because it's like she's just hilarious, and I crack up at literally everything that she says, and it's great. I love working with CB for that reason, and with Twin Salty too. And for him, like I think we just have a lot of common interests with, especially in collegiate and everything. And because we've like talked to each other so much, like we've played on the outside, just with Overwatch, hanging out or whatnot, we're so comfortable with each other to the point that it's just like having a conversation. So it's always so much fun, and it's always relaxing whenever I can work with him, just because I know that we kind of have that level of communication and kind of like poking at each other a little bit for cast. So it's those are probably my two favorites that I work with a lot.
I mean, I don't think I've ever casted with you.
You should. It's awesome. Jesse
Hey,
is so much fun, and he knows his stuff, which is great. Sometimes I almost.
Like my thing is with like the people that I normally cast with, it's like, yeah, like I can't, like I might be able to get away with not knowing necessarily something about like certain situations, but if I'm ever casting with Spectreon, it is something where if I mess up just a little bit, he will not. It will be moments before he is sitting there just saying, "Are you daft?" or something along the lines of "Are you stupid?" and then he'll correct me and just like, "Oh, okay."
No. Well, I used to cast with Spectreon a lot for oh shoot, what was it called? It was the Pennsylvania High School League. I'm blanking on
TEC is what
yes.
you're
Thank
talking
you. I know that was.
I'm always surprised to hear spec casting NA high school.
I know, and here's the thing: he would like sleep in half the time. So I'd be like, "Spectreon, where are you? Spectreon, where are you? Get in here!"
No.
And it was
He actually slept?
He did sometimes, yeah. Does he not do that?
No, he stays up till like 4 a.m. his time.
Oh no!
Just to talk shit about how bad NA players are playing on NA servers.
Okay.
It's like, oh god. At least we're not glazing him. I think this is one of the only times we're actually not. Are we glazing him, or are we just? Or are we actually like trying to suggest he actually gets a normal sleep schedule?
I don't know.
Every time he says I'm trying to fix that, it's like 2 days later. It's 11 p.m. on the East Coast, and he's like just hopping in. It's like, aren't you trying to fix it? Like, yeah, I tried.
See, anytime I need Spectreon to like cast something NA times, my message to him literally says, "Hey, do you want to mess up your sleep schedule?" And the reply, regardless of if he can or can't, is, "You think I fixed it?" And then it's just some version of the Omega lol.
Goofball.
I cannot wait for Spec to hit and then hit the wall at 11 p.m. Where you just
is that a thing?
I turned 24 and I just started getting really tired at 9.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I just can't relate.
See, I just work
Mega,
really early, so
you're still in college. You're still in college, Mega. Once you get out of college, it will get you.
See, like I don't know, like it's possible that you might like it. Like I fully believe that it's a thing, Dex. But like talking with Echo recently, that girl, she's up there. I'm not gonna disclose, but she's up there. She's got a whole ass family and stuff, and she literally, like, I talked to her. She like 31. She sleeps like 4 hours a night, and I wish I was kidding. Like, I have the Discord messages to prove it because of the time she responds to me. She sleeps 4 hours a night, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I don't. Not during the day. I don't like it." So she just like raw dogs the day with 4 hours of sleep and caffeine every day.
Why is that?
Honestly.
Why is that the fucking analogy?
Because it's what she does. Am I incorrect in saying that she's raw dogging the day? Yes or no?
How's Baldur's Gate going? How's that going?
I cannot legally comment without her shooting me and me shooting her. Like, it's there's far too much information on the table now between the two of us. There's far too much information. I'm learning things about my favorite producer that are making me realize I'm knowing too much.
Why did I start this podcast?
Thank goodness she doesn't watch these episodes.
We only watch it when we tell her to watch it, so I'll tell her to watch this episode.
True.
Just throw Megalass under the bus like that.
That's
Funny
why
enough,
crazy.
not the first time we've thrown Megalass under the bus to Echo.
I was going to say, there's so many times that that's happened that the DMs I get the day after are always, they're so entertaining. They have a joyous whimsy about them, some might say.
I believe it.
Okay, let's try to get back. So
Are
you
you
talked
sure
about
about that?
you talked about favorite casters, but as we just talked about with Echo, and who are like your favorite people behind the scenes? And granted, if you don't necessarily want to put a name out there, you can just generally talk about them.
Yeah. I mean, this one I don't think I actually can pick because I've had so many. I don't think I've really had negative experiences with production. Like regardless of it's a small community broadcast for like 5 people and we're doing a show match, or it's for the NACE finals and at Full Sail. Like there's just so many passionate groups of people that like they love their jobs, they want to do it right, and they're going to do everything that they can. And I think being around people with that kind of drive and passion to do what they do as well as they can, as well as encourage the other people around them to kind of participate in the same way and share that same passion, like that's kind of the thing that I look up to. And I'm really, really proud to say that in the last year of all the people that I've been able to work with behind the scenes, and it's really amazing what they can actually do. And I'm very glad that that there are. Well, rather, I really hope that there are more opportunities for them to really get their names out there too. Just because the casters, they get a lot of the credit because they're the front-facing part, but that's just in reality that's not what it is at all. There's like 10 other people that are doing things to make us all look good and get all the players ready and all these other kinds of things that go on.
Yeah, and that's definitely one thing we've talked about, especially as we had like observers and producers come on, with the fact that it's very hard for them necessarily to get themselves out there a lot, other than through like spoken word and just like recommendations from people, because it doesn't say anywhere on screen like, hey, this is who's produced or this is who's observing this part right now, or they get the credits at the end of the show, the end of the season, I think in most places. But like I think it was either Cry or talk to us about it a little bit, about the time that anytime that a clip gets like put on social media of anything they were observing, they immediately like retweet it and do everything they can to like make sure people, and they let everyone know like, hey, this is my observing. And I think that's, I mean, fuck am I trying? God damn it.
Make like a compilation of Dex crash outs at the end of it.
Honestly,
I was going. What I'm guessing Dex was going for is that while it's nice that they're able to sort of tweet themselves out and have their own sort of it would be nicer if there was a better way for observers to get their own sort of credit for the stuff they do, because there's just amazing stuff that happens behind the scenes, right? That we never. Like you said, the front-facing parts, we get all the attention, we get all the, oh, hey, look, it's this person, da 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 da. When in reality, there's just so much going on behind the scenes. It takes a team of people to do it. Team of people who, they can't just show up yesterday. These are people who are trained and dedicated to what they do. They find the pigeon shots and things like that. It's honestly, it's amazing, and it's just sad that they don't get as much credit as they deserve sometimes. Was I in the ballpark, Dex?
No, you're absolutely right. No, like you oh
no.
I can't fucking speak. No, you motherfucker, man. I can't even say the word you. God damn it.
Pet the emotional support cat.
On the floor. No, but Mega said everything that I basically wanted to say there. I just got completely cut off because you said pigeon shots, and like I this past weekend I casted with user intel for Crystal Rain's like community tournament, and Crystal Rain has her settings on low because she normally plays. So that means animals don't show up. But we played Suravasa twice, and me and user were so sad that we couldn't see the gators the first time. That I need to pull this up now. That the second time we went in, she would
trying to bait him in a little bit. That seems to be working out. Sky.
Okay. What I'm doing anymore. But she put in a PNG image of a gator. And we talked about it so much that she just left it, like, she turned the opacity down to like 2, so it was always there. Just because we talked about it so much.
That's fantastic, actually. It just doesn't feel right without the animals. Like, especially watching like a lot of these intros over and over again. If you don't see the one that you're expecting, you're like, this doesn't feel right. I can't start my Midtown map without my pigeons eating pizza. Like, that's just unacceptable. Okay, you need these kind of things. And the penguins and the fish.
I need my penguin PNG shot on Antarctic Peninsula.
Yes, exactly.
If I don't see those PNGs, I'm gonna have a breakdown.
Hate that map, but I will play it for the penguins. That's how
Hate
it
that
works.
map?
Oh, I despise that map.
Why?
I kind of one-trick Venture, and Venture not fun on labs, and sometimes not fun in... I'm completely blanking on the name, but the one that's indoors with like the weird high ground and weird stuff, it's not fun.
I thought that one was labs.
Is that labs?
No. Indoors sub-level.
Sub-level, thank you. Yeah, I like Icebreaker.
Sub-level-
Icebreaker, that's a vibe. Other
Icebreaker's
two,
the
no thank
vote.
you. Love
See,
that.
Like, it sounds so mean, but before you responded with the Venture thing, Tiny, I was gonna be like, yeah, Tiny doesn't like that map because she's kind of like a Q-trick, and neither of the characters are really good on that map.
Okay, speaking of that, if I get target banned this week again, I'm gonna lose my marbles.
Like, I sat
That
there,
was
I watched the target ban. I was like, listen, even though I hadn't scrimmed, like, honestly, maybe I should be in just because they're hitting
I wasn't
Tiny
doing
over
anything!
and over.
Dude,
Oh my god.
I got bullied for the content. That's what happened. I play a total of Tracer and Venture, and occasionally Sombra if I'm like tilted. Okay, so Tracer I'm not playing because our other DPS player Sammy, she's great at that, so she takes that. So I've been one tricking Venture, right? It's not a secret. People watch our VODs, whatever. But then they pull it up and they proceed bad map. Venture, map 1. I'm like, you know what? Fine. It's Oasis. I'm sad, but we can do it next time. Map 2. They decide to ban... Oh, May. May was the other one I've been playing with our Brawl comps. Ban May. Oh, cool. That's fun. And they freaking banned Sombra map 3. I was not having it. They lost. Wait, we lost. Did we lose? We lost that
we
one.
lost.
Yeah,
We lost
this is
that
why I don't want to get target banned. Although I had... I was not the one that should have been banned because I wasn't doing much anyways. But either way. Anyways, that was my rant for the day.
Perfectly fine time to have a rant.
True.
Honestly,
So if our next opponent is watching that, please don't. Please be nice to us. Who is it? Is it
Next to...
greater than :3? Is that who we play next?
Oh, greater than :3?
I think that's who we play next.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice and keep my mouth shut.
I don't know who we play next. But please don't ban my hero.
Please no target ban, please.
I beg.
He's no hero ban.
Please.
Let's ban like Mercy or something, team. Come on.
See, now that's a good idea. That's a great
That's a
idea.
target banning Ka, I feel like.
No,
I've never seen Mercy players. No.
No. There's like one team that runs Mercy, and yeah, I think it's just that. It's not even like they run Mercy, it's just sometimes they play Pharmacy. And that's it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
I don't remember.
believe it or not, like, I'm like, obviously there's Mercy hate in the Overwatch community. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the CAW community might hate Mercy more than the average Overwatch community. On some real shit, the amount of Lucio players we have, the amount of main supports who are like, if you put me on Mercy, I will genuinely burn everything to the ground.
Yep. There's a lot of Lucio players, there's a lot of flex supports, and a lot of Lucio
Mhm.
players. You don't find much of anything else.
Tank players, there's 3 total, maybe, give or take.
Yeah, you say as there's 13 teams in Rising.
I said
And
what
those,
I
are the,
said.
and those are the only 3 teams that matter, apparently.
I said what I said.
Oh my gosh.
We're
We're
waiting
gonna
for
get
the
us
day.
canceled.
We've already had that happen. We're waiting for
People
the day
have
where
tried and failed.
we're waiting for the day that Echo comes back on, because we're not going to talk about prod. We're just going to have an iceberg for the Calling Out Heroes Rising division. And it's just going to be me and Hunter kind of sitting back here and listening to Mega and Echo just go off.
Exactly.
That's gonna be the day me and her careers end. Like, we're not gonna be allowed near Rising after that.
Completely unfiltered.
Let's try to get back on some level of track here.
Okay.
So Tiny, you've been able to do a whole bunch of plans, and you've been able to go a lot of different places for you. You talked about Full Sail. I know it's in Florida. You've done I don't want to say it's called Battle at the Beach, because I
Boost on the beach.
yes, Boost on the Beach in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You done DreamHack Atlanta. I know you've gone to Vegas for I don't know if that was for casting or just for an event. And you've also done stuff in Texas. Like, you are relatively, for just all of us here, incredibly well traveled when it comes to doing lands. What is it kind of like to always kind of have like people reaching out to you to ask you to go to travel for these lands?
It's a lot. You guys are in esports. You understand that a lot of things tend to be pretty last minute. It is very rare that I get more than a month of a heads up on anything related to a LAN. It's very rare that happens. So typically, it's like 2, maybe 3 weeks out. And they're like, "Hey, you want to come down and do this?" I'm like, "Cool," but that's coming up. I have class, and that was the hardest part about it, because these last 2 spring semesters, from the start of March until the first week of May, I had in and out of a single free day. I was either traveling every weekend, I had some sort of remote broadcast every weekend, and I just had class and whatever else I had going on. Like, it was nuts, and that has happened the last 2 semesters. This year, what was it? It was NACE, CECC, and NECC were back to back to back. So I missed a total, I think, of 10 days of class during that time. I did fine. It was okay. My professors were awesome with me. They kind of understood what I did, or at least tried to understand what I did. I had to like show them stuff. I have a pre-drafted basically essay of an email that I send to professors like every like spring when this comes around. I'm like, "Hey, I love your class. I'm going to prioritize it as much as possible, but I'm here to get a career. I already kind of have a career. So this is why you should let me punish me for not going to class so that I can do this." So it was a lot of like figuring out those kind of pieces that has been a bit of a nightmare, especially since things are so soon after. And this happened with I think it was my finance professor. I'm like, "Hey, I just got asked to do NACE finals in Florida in 2 weeks, so I'm gonna miss about 3 days of your class, including an exam. Is there any way that we can work around this?" So it was like people were great. They're very understanding of it, but that part was really stressful for me just because there's so many uncertain factors of it. But yeah, at this point we're kind of it fell into a rhythm, but it's stressful.
I mean, like, it's weird because the 2 lands that I've done, the one in DreamHack Atlanta and the Big South land, like DreamHack Atlanta, I think I knew about it about a month and a half before it, and I think you knew about it as well around that same amount of time. But it was just the whole thing of like, I can't necessarily say anything about it, which really sucked. with the most part. Because one, especially that was my first LAN. So
Yeah.
like really excited for it, but it's like, damn, I can't say anything about like, oh yeah, I have this cool thing coming up. But the Big South one, that one was I think 2.5 months because it was jokingly told to me by Mara, in a CGL cast. And I just jokingly throw my name out there saying like, hey, if you guys need a caster, I live in South Carolina. I could drive up to Rock Hill. And I just left it at that. And then I think about a month before, Mar like reached back out to me and said, hey, if you want to do this, reach out to Bailey. And she'll talk to us like, wait, what? I was joking. Is this for real? It's and how that stuff works. But like I said, in esports, everything is kind of very quick with it. So it doesn't surprise me that it's like 2-3 weeks out that like they're starting to really get the ball rolling with getting the people for everything, especially the bigger events. I feel like that would be one where it's like they kind of already know who they want maybe a month or two out so that they could have time to plan it. But if it's really 2 to 3 weeks.
For some events, yeah. Like, okay, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to name names, but most events that I've done, I think about 15 LAN events so far. About 2/3 of them have been within that like 3-ish week of confirming. Here's your travel information. Here's this, this, and this. Here's a contract kind of thing. Where I think the shortest one I've had was 5 days. I got reached out to about doing a LAN in Indianapolis for Big East. They're like, "Hey, you want to come up here?" I'm like, "I'm at Myrtle Beach right now, but sure, I'll do that when I come back." So that was like a I think I was in my dorm for like less than 24 hours, and then I drove back out to the airport. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Like it's just crazy. I've had a lot of luxury with flexibility. Which was also the really nice part about doing the homeschooling that I did, is I had a lot more time on my hands to do these small esports casts to get not only comfortable skill-wise with what I was doing, but also get to know people in the community and kind of understand how things worked. So in moments like this, I've almost been trained to be like, you just gotta roll with it, whatever's thrown your direction. I hope one day we move away from that and we can consistently get like 2 months of heads up about these things. But for now, it's like you just kind of got to go with what's out there. And you know, it's fun. It's definitely an adventure.
And I mean, just working hands, like it's always interesting just to see how everyone kind of works a little bit. Like, what would be the ones that you don't have to name names with, especially or at all? But like, what would you say is like your favorite kind of experience working a LAN, and maybe one that you just didn't necessarily know what to expect and didn't necessarily meet maybe any expectations that you thought kind of going into it?
Yeah. Let me think of one. Oh, okay. So I did this last summer. It was for the XP League NA Finals, which is a youth league for ages 8 to 17. It's on a national scale. I had never heard of this tournament before because it's not super. It's like the equivalent of your recreational soccer league, I guess, for a lot of kids. But they did it more nationally just because of the way that the interest works. They have their finals in person at Full Sail University. I'd worked with Full Sail once before that for NACE finals of that earlier spring. But when I went down there, I'm like, I don't know what this event's gonna look like. I don't know these teams, these players. I don't have a way to research it. So it was like I'm very type A. I need to know what I'm getting myself into. I need to have a plan for a plan. Like we need to know these things. So that event in particular, I'm like, this is going to be a lot. I need to be ready to do a lot of in-person work. And when I got there, I was blown away, first of all, by the scale. There was like hundreds and hundreds of kids and their parents there for this event. All of them like super excited, running around and giggling, and like they're like these tiny people sitting at computers and playing some of the best like games that I've seen in a while. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're getting into. And I had the familiar aspect of working with the Full Sail staff, knowing how they run things, their scheduling, and all of that. is always fantastic, but kind of learning about the event in itself from like kind of the moment you get there that's kind of the one thing that at lands you can't prepare for. You gotta be ready to absorb as much as you can when you arrive, so that like you're fully ready, you're like immersed in the event to go. And I think that's one of my favorite things about land tournaments is you can't really replicate the feeling of one specific tournament. Like it's never going to be the same anywhere. So like the once in a lifetime kind of experience and the way that you think about it is I think that's my favorite part of that lands. Long story short. Or long story long rather.
But have you ever had one of those ones where it's like you had a lot of expectations maybe for it and they just didn't necessarily meet them? You still had a good time, but it was just like thought there would be a little bit more maybe to it.
Yeah, and I think that's always going to be the case too. There's events that you're running with either people that have run events for years and years and they have their schedules down to the minute and know exactly what's going on. And then you have other events that, they're kind of doing it for the first time. And you can plan out as many things as you can in advance. But on land, something is going to go wrong somewhere. That's just how it works. You got to be prepared for delays. You got to be prepared for tech issues, players not arriving on time, whatever that might be. And the more of those that there are, the more stressful events tend to get. And I experienced that more in those kind of first 3 lands that I did right before I started college. So, which again, fantastic experiences. I love doing all of them. But it was like a learning curve for myself too of like, okay, this is kind of how things are supposed to go. I didn't really know what to expect, but everybody does things differently. Everybody handles crises differently. And it was like it's a really interesting thing to observe, honestly, just from a technical standpoint too.
Yeah, and like I can definitely relate to that a little bit because especially we saw it happen a lot at Atlanta. Like computers were for like it was so insane to see like so many technical issues. But considering like, hey, where it was in free play, the computers are being always used, the screens, the monitors are always being used. I never saw so many monitors fail in a weekend than I did in that like span of 2 days. I think there was, and it involved my old school's Rocket League team. I think there was one Rocket League match where there were 6 monitors that died.
Oh my gosh.
Like that's just things you don't know. Like I remember on Boost on the Beach this year, for the small portion that I was actually able to participate in.
Oh
Unfortunately,
yeah, I remember.
yeah, that was a delight. I think we had to go out and buy like 6 HDMI cables, and we had to buy 10 new headsets because the ones that we gave like weren't working. And like it was crazy. You just gotta like we had to send somebody out of the venue mid tournament to go like just to Best Buy and get all of these things. And like it's just learning how to manage that and not letting yourself it's a lot of mentality of not my circus, not my monkeys. Is definitely like you gotta just train yourself for.
Like, I know Hunter really wants to do a land. Mega, I know she has been on record saying if she does a land, she will do it actually in person. Which again, it's like it'd be so. I only know Mega as.
Yeah, the only people who've seen me IRL for prod and casting are Echo and Hot Sauce. So very odd combination of people, seeing as I've casted with Hot Sauce literally one time. But yeah.
Came back to this mortal realm just for that.
Listen, I think it would be hilarious if, because we talked about this before, if we got like one of those things that VTubers use at conventions, the little stick, like the iPod or iPad on a stick that they can like segue around and just set that up at a
Yeah.
LAN. I think that'd be so funny.
No, like,
I don't think anybody would ever actually go for it, but like in concept, it's funny.
No, definitely do it. Pull like the Iron Mouse. Just do that.
I will say at the three fucking dream hacks I went to last year, there were people that who were riding around in a like a mobilized wheelchair that had a computer hooked up to it. So I wouldn't see it as the weirdest thing to have just a Stop that. I wouldn't see it as the weirdest thing to have essentially an iPad attached to a Segway. So a VTuber could be there.
I mean, hey, listen, I have the 3D model, technically. Like, I can technically do, like, a 3D jerry rig. It wouldn't
True.
fully work. There'd still have to be screens, but...
I remember those episodes.
Those
3D
episodes,
rig.
it was one.
Was it not more than one?
Mega did the 3D model for the first episode and then hasn't done it since.
Okay, in my defense, I didn't have my VR headset until literally today. The entire time. So, that's all I'm saying.
So what you're saying is there's a chance.
I'm saying that I definitely would have done it today just because I remembered it as well. However, it took me until 15 minutes before just to get my webcam out of the bin, so I just was like, yeah, not dealing with that.
And like Mega did reach out to me about the chance that her webcam might not be up today. And I said, okay, I'll just pull an image in case it doesn't, so that at least you're there. And Mega was so afraid I was gonna use like a shitpost image of her, but no, like I actually got a good image of her. Like it doesn't make me feel bad because honestly, I would expect any kind of image that anyone would ever use of me just use a shitpost image. But Hunter, Mega, I mean, I've been asking a lot of questions. You guys have any questions here for Tiny?
I always have a question. I always have a question. You almost answered it earlier, and I started sweating. I'm like, please no. The one thing I ask over the course of 90 minutes
is 1 bit.
my one. I don't even know if I call it a bit at this point, but I'll take it. So the name TinyShiny 19. Where does it come from? Is there lore?
There's a little bit of lore. It's a little bit of lore. It's not as exciting, I think, as you would think it would be. Like, oh, you're short. No, I've had a lot of people do that, and they're like, it's fun. I mean, it can be a bit, but it's not it. It's because of my cat. Her name's Addie. She's great, but we got her in 2013. So I was how old was I? 8, 9, around that time. So, they had when we got her, she was this really tiny cat, and she never really grew. But she's a short hair, but her fur was like really sleek back, and she wasn't the smartest. Like she'd eat marbles, she'd run into tables. It was kind of concerning sometimes. She got tangled up in a kite once. Don't know how that happened, and we had to chase her around the house to get that off of her. But we joked that the only thing that went through her head is I tiny, I shiny. So we kind of just, and she would run around going, I tiny, I shiny, I tiny, I shiny, whenever she'd do something silly. So that kind of just stuck with me, and I turned it into that. It is vet approved, by the way. We took her to the vet recently, just to get checked out, and we took her out, and the vet goes, that's one tiny, shiny cat. And we all just burst out laughing because it was great. So yeah, TinyShiny is doctor approved to be official. Yeah, that's kind of the lore.
Holy crap.
I think you went through that fast. Eats marbles?
She'd hold them in her mouth. You wouldn't see that she had it in her mouth. And she'd run around the house and just go, and just spit it out. And then she'd bat it around for a while, pick it up back up in her mouth, run around, and spit it back out. And she never ate one. And we tried to keep them away from her, but she somehow kept finding them. Me and my brother weren't the cleanest. We would put stuff that was everywhere. Like, we loved building giant, like, train sets, marbles, whatever, you name it, all over the place. And pieces were bound to get munched up by cats. So we kind of just, we started moving things around after that. But and Legos. She loved Legos. That was another big one.
I wish Zay would like stuff like that, where it's like she would just have fun with it and like not take it under the couch so it would never get seen again.
Look, it's a talent of cats to know what the most inconvenient thing is, but to do it in the cutest way possible. Like, I have one cat that just lays on the stairs all the time, right where you can't see her, especially at night. I've tripped on her several times. I mean, you got your cat eating your mouse cord and potentially your face. She just kind of looked at you. But, yeah.
She's very confused on why I'm holding her like how I am.
So what's going on? She's so cute. Oh my goodness.
That's the pop filter. That's the pop filter. No. You're not going
And
after
you're
the
done.
pop filter.
Oh. But yeah, no, that's the lore. We are
That's our
the
lore.
cat lovers. I'm extremely allergic to cats, though. That's the other sad part of that story.
I slightly am. We never had a cat because my mom was like deathly allergic, so we never got to have a cat. Nothing stops me from getting one now. Nothing's actually prevented me from doing so.
Exactly. Cats are the best. Love them.
Yeah,
No hate to my dog,
like,
but cats are the best.
it feels like a rite of passage as a caster to have a pet.
Yep.
I was gonna say something about a caster having a pet. I was like, I didn't have a pet for a while.
Look, all I'm saying is you got Zay, and then you casted like big time Overwatch. Is all I'm saying. There's correlation.
Direct correlation. Has a pet.
Cat buff. Cat buff.
Is it cat buff or pet buff?
Maybe the pet buff.
Ooh.
But cats give a better buff. It's the best kind.
Mm.
The word meow, I think, is synonymous with calling our heroes. Wait,
It is. It's a thing now.
Doesn't Nightbot say meow randomly?
It might, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked if that was changed.
You know, that definitely is a thing that happens.
A trend was really started with that.
I remember watching that happen the first time. I was like, oh, there's no going back, is there?
Just wait. Their next Overwatch map that's released, they're gonna have cats in the background. They already have the cat cafe. That's on the other side. The cat cafe.
That's in a death match.
I know! That would have been such a sick map. And they could have put cats in there, and it would have been everybody's favorite map. Just saying. Opportunity missed.
Hey, but at least we got frogs.
Frogs are cool.
Yeah, no, like that's like everyone was hyping it up. I was like, okay, yeah, they added frogs, cool. I like, yeah, they're cool. They're there for 1 point. They don't have as much of appeal to me, especially as it seems like none of the observers have actively said like, okay, we're gonna go seek them out.
No, frogs don't get enough love. Please have.
I could tell a story today of a frog, but
we have a frog. No, okay. Is this a different place, different time kind of story?
Unless do you want me to talk about a frog that got squished?
Probably not, actually. I do not want that image in my head.
Now that you've given
no,
context.
thank you.
Yeah. Mega, do you have a question before we get to your normal thing?
No, I was just gonna go to the normal thing.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's I was like, go ahead, get your image up. So this is actually, I don't know how this is gonna work this week because, like I said, Tiny's the epitome of wholesome, but basically Tiny. Every single week, I like to ask the guests. There's been obviously times in esports production for any and everybody where something has maybe been annoying, maybe peeved you out a little bit, or just something that happens consistently, and it's like an industry standard or something like that, but it's like it upsets you. You would say it even grinds your gears, right? However, I will say as well, I tell this to all guests, if it's something extremely petty and stupid, I'll take that as an answer too. But just what is something that grinds your gears about esports?
Oof. That's a tough question. Oh boy. The problem is, I always think about esports so positively. It's hard to okay, now I gotta shift that because there are definitely negative things about the esports industry as a whole. I gotta think. I think the one thing that really, you know what? I don't even think this is a specifically petty thing. This might be a little bit more of a serious topic, but especially when I started, I looked for a lot of other just women in esports just as like role models and, you know, kind of what we wanted to get into and what to look at. And I ended up talking to a bunch of different casters, producers, observers, like all across the board, people that were involved in it, just because I wanted to learn about their experiences. I wanted to learn more. And I think that there's something that I really kind of grinds my gears, I would say, is the fact that there's the push to feel like you need to act a certain way. Is as just as a woman in gaming, and there's been times that I'm like, I really do want to try to break that. It you know, there's a lot of pushback always about you have to look a certain way, so you have to therefore act and sound a certain way. So kind of, you know, getting that feedback and that hearing that experience from a lot of different women and people marginalized identities, like, you know, kind of wanting to change that. And one thing I think that, and where I'm going with this is the thing that bothers me the most is when people talk about people's vocal tones for, especially in casting. And I think there's a certain degree in which you can do this. Like, you could sound really, really annoying if you want to. Like, if you really, really tried, you could. But then for there's other people, you have a problem if you have a higher pitched voice or a lower pitched voice. I don't really, that's something that gets on my nerves, that people kind of pick at a lot when it's something that is out of your control. Like, if it's a technical thing, that's fine. If it's something that, you know, I can't change even if I wanted to. Like, why are we here? Why are we kind of talking about this? And it's funny because I've gotten feedback before of your voice is too high or you sound too squeaky, especially when I was like still a teenager, and I'm like, I don't know what you want. But yeah, it's having, I think, standards like that of needing to sound a certain way and act a certain way, to fit a general conception has been tough. And it's gotten a ton better, and a lot of people are being more open to having different personalities in the space, and things like that have made me very happy. So probably not the more controversial answer you're looking for, but I think that's, if I had to be picky today, I think that's the thing I would choose.
See, that's why I love the questions, because there's no wrong answer. I'm here for it.
There's times where I miss the old bit. I feel like we should bring it back at least a couple times here and there.
No, the Blue's Clues bit is dead. They literally canceled the show.
Yeah,
They did.
Nickelodeon
Blue's
evicted
Clues.
the entire street. Yeah.
No.
But here, let me actually piggyback off your answer there. You know,
Mhm.
no, Zay, do not mess with that cord. No, I need that cord. That is where the podcast is being saved. Don't mess with that cord. But especially with role models, with people to look up to, would you consider yourself that, for women or marginalized gender? Would you consider necessarily be one of those, or people would necessarily look up to you?
I'd like to think so. I think that, to a very, very, very small degree. I think if there are people that are starting out, especially that are younger, that are wanting to get into it, and I think that was something I struggled a lot with, is that not only was I part of a marginalized gender identity in the space, but I was also really young in a professional space where, on average, you're not really going to see production or casters that are under the age of 25. And there, with just, you don't, doesn't feel like a lot, but when you have somebody who's finishing high school versus someone who's out of college doing like a real life job, there's kind of a divide there. So I'd like to think that in some way, and I try to do that a lot now, is to help show that, like, even your age doesn't really matter if you can prove the skills that you do have. And that's what I like to think of. I still have people that I look up to. I don't feel like any big star or anything. I show up, I do something that I love, I help people enjoy something that they love, and I call it a day. That's kind of how esports has been for me, and how I hope that it kind of continues to go. So if I can help bring that light to more people, that's kind of the motto I have.
really, honestly, that's a really good answer for that question. But I mean, we've been asking you a lot of questions here. Do you have any questions?
Ooh. Oh, this is a tough one. Let me see.
It doesn't have to be.
Actually, I've been wanting to ask this for a while because this actually might be a little bit silly. But I remember, at least for Dex, I remember your first CGL cast because I was watching it because it was the cast before mine, and I was like, hey, this guy sounds fun. I'm gonna watch it. And okay, don't get me wrong, it was like years ago, so I don't remember a whole lot from that. But I've thought since that moment, and I was watching you again recently for the Face It, basically both you and Hunter, and I'm like, holy crap, you guys have done so much in that amount of time. I'm kind of curious, like for you, how has that like how has CGL kind of played a role in kind of that, like from when you started casting to kind of where you are now? Because I think like myself, that's kind of where I got my start too. So I'd like love to hear that from all of you actually, where kind of CGL has played that role in you guys, just to glaze them a little bit more.
I mean, it's a very like CGL has definitely been a big part of it. Like I always talk about the fact that like start off with my college, broke away from that to or you know the stepping stone from college was the Peaches to Trank, which I called Trank for the longest time, basically my home for casting. And then you know Trank dies, CGL kind of their SBCS is there, but it's not necessarily Trank. CGL though, all around like it was like I didn't necessarily know when I first joined CGL how necessarily big it was. So it was a thing of like, you know, I had this thing where, and I still do now, like, I show up the cast, I try to treat it as if it's like the biggest cast in the world. It's a very professional cast.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's just, being a part of CGL has really helped me because it's like, I'm working with incredible people. It's Hippie, it's Headrammer, I fucking hate myself that I'm forgetting names. But it's like everyone there. It's Echo. It's all the observers. It's Orange. It's Knock when he shows up there from time to time. It's gonna be so mad at myself. But like, just working along great people has really, I think, helped me the most. Like being able just to improve myself, and the fact that in CGL as well, you also just get like this great talent. It doesn't like you can go from platinum to open tier and have OWCS teams or Face It teams. Like, hell, Dildux was in the last season of CGL just after they qualified for OWCS.
Yep.
And, like, that was, like, being able to also cast those teams, like, you're casting some of the best people in the world at this game. It's just a great experience. It's a great experience, great practice as well. And like working with Hunter, working with Megan, working with all the other casters there as well. Like you work with so many different people that you're able to learn so much from just every little thing. Like it's like it's one of my favorite places.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of us have kind of had the same sentiment. Like, Megalass, you're kind of new-ish to CGL, kind of, or did we start?
I think
can't
she's
remember
been there longer than all of us.
Have you? When did you join CGL? Because I think I
joined
casted with you the first time
CGL
there.
So I technically was brought in as like an emergency in season 12, which was over 2 years ago.
Yeah,
at this
you
point.
were not the
I was like, I don't know who was there before me or anything like that. Like literally, the way I got into CGL was I got a ping in the BPL server one day from Zushor saying, "Listen, any caster, anybody available, paid cast." I was like, I like money. Shit, that sounds great. And immediately had no clue anything about CGL. Had literally never heard of it before. But I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll cast here. And then after I did the one cast, I was just like, hey, listen, shit, money. I'm not going to say no to money. And so if y'all ever need more casting, and then everyone was like, yeah, sure. And like gave me roles and everything. And it kind of just I've just kind of been there ever since. Where it's just like, yeah, this is cool.
I do. As I kind of remember our first cast together too, because I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. I'm casting with a VTuber. That's awesome. Even my mom remembers you. I was telling her I was doing this today, and she's like, oh yeah. And she's like, I told you, oh yeah, I'm doing with my Calling All Heroes teammate. She's like, oh, is it that one person with like the animated character? I'm like, yeah, that's her. so I think that's super cool actually. What about you, Hunter? I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't fully remember. I haven't casted with you before, I think, because we're both typically play-by-play. But
Yeah. So I started the first time I did casting for CGL was actually back all the way in 2020. I believe they were doing season 8 at the time. And that's when I came in. Did like season 8, some season 9. Went away for a while because casting stopped being a thing for me for a hot minute just because other priorities, other focuses. But thankfully, around the same time that Dex and Mega started doing CGL, I was able to come back and able to have a new appreciation for it all. Because before it was like, haha, this is the sunny, the Jesus, the funny, silly thing that I do because I realized, hey, I played the game for a while, realized I am not good at this game.
Had to bring the mic closer for that.
I had to.
dramatic effects.
But no, for CGL, that was like the biggest platform for me because how consistently we're able to do it. Because when we do something like SBCS BPL, like we could get 1 or 2 a week. If you want to go all out during the regular season for CGL, you could put that work in and get 2, 3, 4 casts during that week and really be able to like cut your teeth on it. And I think that's what is important because we don't always get that opportunity because we didn't have things like the Face Elite Co streams that we have today where, hey, you could go cast, have a dozen games a week if you wanted to. You know, it wasn't as simple as to do that a few years back, even a couple years back to some extent. So for me, I just loved having the opportunity to be like, hey, do I want to cast 5 games this week? Hell yeah, I do. Let's go. Let's get it.
Like it really feeds that itch though. Like you can get so many reps in, but it's also like the connections that you got. Like I guarantee like if I did not start casting CGL, there's no chance I would be where I am now. And like honestly, a lot of what I've learned from casting is it's not necessarily even the skill. It's a lot of luck and it's a lot of just who you happen to run into on any given day. And CGL has been, I mean, fantastic for both the connections and just kind of the cool like friends that you're able to meet and hang out with for that too. So that's really cool to hear that. Like I feel like it's kind of something that brings a lot of the like the grassroots community together, especially for production.
Like I didn't like. I'm in the same kind of boat with Mega by how I got in CGL. If he just reached out to me one day and said, "Hey, I need someone to cast. Are you available?" I was like, "Sure," and then I stuck around. It's even funnier for me in BPL because I filled out the old like casting form they had.
Mm-hmm.
Waited a year, nothing. I met Knock in Toronto for the last grand finals. And he gave me roles in a D&D themed restaurant to cast BPL.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you never know who you're gonna meet or what you're gonna do. Like, literally, the first like big thing that I did was the World Cup Overwatch World Cup trials in like 2022, I think, 23, maybe 23. I don't know. It's one of those years, and it happened because I said yes to a cast 7 hours. It was at like 11 p.m. and this cast started at 5 a.m. my time. They're like, hey, we want to do a European tier 3 tournament. You're gonna be with this person and this person. This very last second, but can you do it? And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. And that's how you meet people. Like, it's just, you never know what you're gonna get just from doing any of these events. And I really think that is something that is undervalued within casters. Like, people start, they do one big thing, you're like, oh, now I'm just gonna get every big thing. That's not what it is. You got to start where it is small. That's where you're going to get meet all of these great people and kind of do that. And it's just more fun that way. Like, I genuinely don't think I would enjoy esports that much if I was not involved in grassroots to some degree.
Yeah, and like, especially like people blowing up really fast. Like, there's you and I always said CB was someone who blew up. Based on everything from this podcast, you are also one of those people who blew up really, really fast. But it's like it's always insane because, like you said, it is very much a lot of luck and the people you run into. for the most part, because look at my calling.
It was not okay today.
Oh no. It's not okay. It's not okay.
But like,
Ironically, this is the third time it's happened, and every time it's happened, I hear like a crash of thunder outside my window. So I don't know if there's any correlation with that, but
yeah.
I just think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, hey, the jig is up. Yeah, I'm Mother Nature.
That's
Anytime,
I just did it again.
Anytime I get pissed, thunder somewhere in the world. Apparently, it's right over Tiny's place.
There's no way. There's no way. Oh, that's actually. I wish that got picked up on the mic. Genuinely. Oh.
Like a lot of the times when we ask people why they keep coming back, everyone, a lot of the most recurring answer is the people, because the people are just so great. And like I said, you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who's gonna become friends or who's just become someone that you're always constantly working with. But by that point, like if you're always constantly working with them, I really start to consider friends, because you're normally just gonna end up talking to them. Even if it's like the shortest conversation in the world, you're gonna end up talking to them a little bit either before or after the cast.
Yeah, that's the best part, honestly, is like you sticking around like 2-3 hours after the show actually ends, or just yapping or playing Uno in Overwatch. We do that a lot. That's kind of how used to be a thing. I haven't done that in a while though.
So
Man, I kind of want to get back to that.
So here's what I do when I play Uno and Overwatch.
Ooh.
You pick Orisa, you turn your DPI up all the way, and just spin, because her footsteps make so much noise. Like it.
I don't like you. I hate it when people do that.
It gets people like it's pissed off Hippie. It's pissed off Headrammer. It's pissed off so many people. But it is a strategy that I've used multiple times to win.
Yeah, that's psychological warfare. That's what that is. In Uno! Why?
Okay, so real. Not to tangent off of your Uno thing here, but just because I want to say something about it. Like, if you get into esports and you somehow don't make a single friend along the way, no offense, you did it wrong.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
messed
Oh,
up
yeah.
somewhere on the way. Like, I really hate that I'm going to glaze this man right now, but the
Oh, no.
fact that, like, me and Fletch, genuinely, I feel like we could be apart for 6 months, not talk, but, like, we could be in a VC either to cast or to just chill, and it's literally, like, picking up right where we left off. Not only is that nice for an esports thing, because it's somebody you can rely on, but just as, like, a wholesome comfort to put you more at ease, right?
Yeah.
Like, just to have that kind of relationship with anybody, it just feels amazing. So I don't understand why you would ever deprive yourself of that and, like, trying to be this locked in, I'm only here to become the world's biggest caster or observer or whatever. Like, you're taking away 85% of the reason that a person would do this job by doing that.
Yeah, it's if you don't. There's some people that can do that. Don't get me wrong, and I generally think it's a talent to be able to push every single person away from you. Like, there's with esports, everybody's so accepting of each other. Like that's just what this community is. You often have a lot of people that, might not find those same connections in real life or have a harder time with it. I was absolutely one of them before I got into it. But like doing things like casting and working with production, like it's helped me a lot in real life. I had such a hard time like going up and just striking a conversation with people, and now it's something that I can do like no problem. Like talking to people like either just through esports, doing casting, like it's given me so much more confidence and social practice that especially I needed during COVID too. Like it's just insane that the value that can have.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll still like. I still have a little bit of social anxiety, especially when I'm meeting someone in person. It's like it might be the first 5-10 minutes of like being around someone that I've talked with a lot online, where I'm like kind of quiet. I don't necessarily want to like step into a conversation. I think I was kind of like that around you at Atlanta. Like I didn't want to necessarily butt into any conversation, so I was kind of like you were talking to like. There were two casters from Shenandoah. I'm forgetting the other guy's name, and you were talking to DJ.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, I want to join in, but I don't want to interrupt. I'm just going to kind of stand back and just let it go.
And those conversations are hard too, because you're like, you don't want to jump in with a bunch of people that know each other. That's just be weird. Like I get that too. And I try to make an effort too to like invite people into those conversations now if I notice, but sometimes I'm like so locked in, and I do apologize because that was definitely that moment. I do remember that, and
no, I like
sincerely apologize.
do not apologize. That's me. That is me. I don't want to be the person that interrupts anything, so I'll just stand in the corner until I see an opportunity for me to actually jump in or for the conversation to end. There's no in between. Either I find some place to jump in, or hey, the conversation's over. They're in different parts of the building now.
Yeah.
But guys, do you guys have anything else here for Tiny?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to shout out to this. I think being the longest episode now, Dex. Shout out to that.
This should be.
Yep, it is going to end up being probably 2 or 3 minutes
Oh.
longer than Kothar's episode. Here's the thing.
No way.
Yeah, it's going to be the longest episode. This is going to be something that the three of us talk about here in a moment, because we keep on breaking this record now almost every other week.
Uh-oh. You gotta reel it back in.
happening.
Too many tangents.
No, like, it's... we've had this conversation off the podcast where I'm okay with having tangents, especially when it's people that are behind the scenes, like producers and observers, because a lot of times, unless you're actively like working with them, you don't know their personality. So it's great to see. It's great to see their personalities. Casters' personalities, you see them.
Exactly.
But Tiny, thank you so much for joining us. Hunter, Mega, thank you guys as always, and thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you tune in next week for another great episode of For the Love of Prod. Don't know who it will be, as always. Gotta really fix that. But I also think we might have another piece of content coming this week. It depends on if we necessarily want to do something for another 30 minutes after this podcast ends. But again, thank you everyone so much for watching, and make sure you tune in next week for another good episode. Another great episode of For the Love of Prod before I fucking lose my mind. Bye, y'all.
See y'all next week.